Atlanta Falcons came up just short on Sunday Night Football and now need a lot of help to win the NFC South and make their first postseason appearance in a long time. I think it's 7 years now. I'm blanking on it right now. It's been that long. I've been trying to suppress it. It's as a Falcons fan, but we're going to break down this game here, this Week 18 game, as they host the Carolina Panthers. My name is Tyler, here with my brother Ryan. And before we get into that, if you like the work that we put out and want to help out the channel, be sure to subscribe to the Tracy Take and also tackle that bell to get notified when new videos come out. We have a lot of offseason content coming out for both the Panthers and Falcons and the entire NFL, which you're not going to want to miss. And Ryan, it was odd feelings that I felt watching that Sunday Night Football game. It was great to see. It looks like we have a quarterback now. It also reminded me a little bit of Desmond Ritter's kind of short stint in 2022. Is like, are we getting overexcited about ourselves? I don't think that's the case. I'm just saying, like, there are some similarities. But it was weird seeing our past 4 first-round picks, all offensive players, actually all provide significant performances, because I feel like it's normally not like that. Kyle Pitts actually caught a touchdown. He caught a ball, which is good.
He caught a key touchdown.
He caught a key touchdown, the keyest of all touchdowns. Michael Penix looks legit. He's got a cannon of an arm. Drake London, I'm really looking forward to, over the next 5, 10, 15 years, however long these guys play, this Drake London 15-yard hitch or 15-yard out route connection with him and Michael Penix. I just don't know, if you're a cornerback, I don't know how you stop that, because with Penix's arm strength, like, he can get that there, like in like lickety split, whatever phrase you want to say. Like, that's how quick he can get it there. And I thought the defense played as well as they could. It's tough to contain someone with Jaden Daniels' speed, and I just don't know if our defense is built for that. I thought we did a great job in the first half, but the second half, I think they just resorted to, like, hey, we're just going to run the ball constantly. Because, like, they just have too much speed between them, which really shut down our offense. And so, but a lot of good positives to look forward to, but also some things just kind of made me, on what got us here to that point, they kind of made me frustrated. But luckily, we're going up against the Panthers here, who put up one of the worst defensive performances I've seen in a long time. And like, they were going up against the Buccaneers. But I will say, I think there's a lot of positives that the Panthers fan base can take from the second half of this year. Bryce Young seems like he's making the steps forward that you want. Dave Canales seems like a legit head coach. I like the offensive system that they have in there. They've got good receiving weapons. They've got a legit running back in Chuba Hubbard. Offensive line seems to be playing well. The offensive side of the ball seems to be taken care of, so it makes it pretty clear what they need to do in the draft. And so I kind of want to throw it over to you here. We've had a full season seeing both of these teams. What are your kind of thoughts on the Panthers, and also, too, like, what are your kind of thoughts on the Falcons and what to expect in this matchup?
Well, and so as a fellow lowly, we're 3-13, but as a Patriots fan right now, I would love to be in the Carolina Panthers position. You have a young quarterback who is playing good football. You have some young offensive weapons that are playing well. Like, your offensive line seems to be coming together decently well. Definitely, like, still some room for improvement there. This defense is a work in progress, but I think Derek Brown will come back. That'll help with a lot of the running issues I think that this team is having. Not fix them, but it'll help. And so, like, for me, I think, like, this is a good position for the Carolina Panthers to be in. I know 4-12, most likely 4-13 is not a good record, but I think you look, especially over the last, like, month and a half, they've just been competitive in a lot of games. They took Tampa Bay to overtime. They took Kansas City to overtime in back-to-back weeks. They played the Eagles tough. They had a rough loss against the Cowboys and Buccaneers the last couple weeks, with the Arizona Cardinals win there in the middle. But like, you go look, kind of spurring from that Saints win where they won 23-22, then they beat the Giants 20-17. They've been really competitive really in the last 2 months of football. And I just think that is, when you're a team that is has been consistently picking at the top of the draft for the last 3 or 4 years, that is what you want. You want to be getting to a point where you are competitive in all of these games against top contenders. And so I do feel for them. That was a tough loss that they took last week, but I still think all in all, going forward, it's going to be there appears to be a bright future for the Carolina Panthers. And for the Atlanta Falcons, I mean, Michael Penix looks somewhat legit. I mean, he's only made 2 starts. He has been a little handheld at times, especially in that Giants game. And they also weren't asking him to do a whole lot because he didn't need to. But his one interception in that Giants game was totally Kyle Pitts' fault. He made a bad throw on that first drive of that Falcons game, but I don't remember anything else like super egregious. Maybe some inaccurate throws here or there after that. But like, I think you have a future there. Bijan looks really good. Drake London looks really good. This defense really seems to be figuring things out, especially on that defensive front, which was what was scary. Now there is going to be some turnover there, so can Raheem Morris kind of manage that as like through this offseason and into next year and keep this defensive line playing at a pretty high level. But your secondary is very solid. So all in all, like I think the Falcons are in a really good spot to be competitive in 2025 and going forward. And I think the Panthers maybe the Panthers are contending for a wild card spot next year if they can get some more pieces this offseason. They're definitely much more of a destination now than they were last offseason.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and I think too with the offensive pieces for Carolina, I think that there are some areas that they could keep on improving, just but keep bringing in more weapons. But it was still Xavier Legette looks like a hit, and also just a fan favorite. I don't know how you can't like the guy. Adam Thielen's that veteran that's still producing really well. And so Jalen Coker's doing great also, and so Jatavian Sanders I think could be a good tight end. You got Chuba Hubbard and Jonathan Brooks was playing decently well until he re-hurt his knee. And so there are a lot of positives for the Panthers, and to me, I think you also got looks like a good head coach with a good offensive system and David Dallas. And so I think that's
you touched on Xavier Legette and just like how could you not like him? Did you see what he brought back from?
He brought back Kuhn. Yeah,
Kuhn. That is like so hilarious to me that he brought it back, and then not only that, he made the reporters try it. He's like, "You never had Kuhn before," like all that, and then he like literally pulled it out and was like, "Try it."
I would try it. I'd be like, "I never had it before," so it'd be very interesting. But yeah, it and that's what it is. Like he just seems like a fun locker room presence and just good character. And so for the Falcons, it was great to see Michael Penix play well. I want to see him do well. It's been a very interesting probably year for him because it wasn't entirely probably the warmest of welcomes because we're all like, well, we got Kirk Cousins. And then it turned out to be like, well, Kirk Cousins was like, it was a great idea to have a backup just in case. Like we know there's going to be this transition period. And so props to the front office, Terry Fontenot, for making that move. But at the same time, though, too, I think of 2025 because where our hopes make the playoff rest on Spencer Rattler and the injury riddled New Orleans Saints to somehow beat Tampa Bay Bucks on the road. And so you're looking forward to, and we just look back at his Kirk Cousins contract. And hindsight's 2020, and I fully admit, like I was excited to see Kirk Cousins, and I think we're wanting Kirk Cousins to be successful. But it's what more moves can we make, to kind of keep on improving this team. The defensive line has been playing well, since the bye week. It's kind of crazy. We've had 10 sacks before the bye, and since then, 9, 13, 21 sacks since the bye. Like we're not even last in sacks anymore, thanks to these past 5 weeks, 6 weeks, or 5 weeks. So, and we're probably going to go and get 4 or 5 more in this game against Bryce Young. So we'll probably end up like in the mid 30s in sacks. So, but a lot of the key veterans are leaving. We don't really have it was interesting. It was interesting to see Zach Robinson's offense really take flight in this game because I think Penix kind of fits that mold and is more mobile enough to kind of and have the arm strength, to kind of work in this offense. I still feel we need another weapon. It's like Darnell Mooney had 2 catches for 37 yards. Kadil Hodge, he did have 1 catch. He had 4 targets. Yes. Kyle Pitts, we want to see this more consistent production from him, but will he keep doing this consistent production? It just doesn't seem like he uses his size and his strength. I don't know strength. He is pretty thin. It doesn't seem like he uses his size to his benefit, And so that's where I think we need to get another weapon. I think we do need to start worrying about the offensive line. We need to address center position, in my opinion. We need to now I think also think about the blindside blocker as well. Yeah, is Caleb McGarry going to be the guy? I think it was evident also too. We need some more cornerbacks as well. And so AJ Terrell did a great job. Thought Justin Simmons and Jesse Bates did a good job, but D. Alford really struggled. Mike Hughes struggled. So, and I bring up all this stuff up is I don't know if we've set ourselves up for success to address all those needs. While we still have Bijan in his prime, while we have Drake London, on the rookie contract, Kyle Pitts, we could trade Kyle Pitts. To be honest, we probably could do without him. So it's just you try to look at the positives, you try to look at the negatives. I try and be as fair as I can to the moves that we've made, knowing the information that we had at the time. And some of those moves were smart moves, like drafting Michael Penix. Some were not, like giving $100 million to Kirk Cousins, and the cap hit that's going to have on us as well. So there's going to be some people who are going to have to be cut on this team here. We're going to have to rely on the young rookie talent that we've drafted over the past couple of years and that we've developed them well. When it comes to this game, I think it's going to be a heavy, heavy dose of running the ball, Bijan Robinson. I don't think that this defense is going to really be able to slow us down. I think Penix is taking the right steps. I think him and London have instantly formed a great connection. Hopefully Kyle Pitts has another similar type performance. If Pitts can average 50 yards a game, and just be another presence that we have to worry about, I think that's good enough for him, for next year to keep him. But I think we're going to rely on our youthful offensive talent. And I think defensively, it's going to be a tough matchup. Like this Dave Canales offense can put up some points, but I think this defensive line has been playing significantly better. I think we have enough talent in the secondary to slow them down, like with AJ Terrell, Jesse Bates, and company. Yeah. So it's going to be a lot of, I think, interesting conversations going on for Falcons fans in the offseason because we've been complaining so much about Kirk Cousins, rightfully so, not taking that away. But I think it did take away a lot of the key points away from, or key conversation time away from, hey, like there are some other areas that we need to address really on this team. And we don't really have the draft. We only have 4 picks as of right now. We'll probably trade back in the first round to try to get some more draft capital. And not like this is a great first round draft class anyways. So I think that's why we go back, get a lot more picks and see if we can kind of get another young draft class here. I wouldn't be surprised in the draft class if we do something similar to what we did last year, but we really focus on the defensive line. And I wouldn't be surprised maybe if we do focus on skill position players in secondary in this draft as well. So
do you mean offensive line?
No, like we focus on getting like several skill position players to replace Cadell Hodge, to maybe like get ready for Darnell Mooney, Ray McLeod, then also get some other young secondary as well. Like I think of Jahdae Barron, if we did trade back in the first round and got him at 17 or 18, wherever we're going to end up, I think would be a good addition to this team. At worst, he could slide in as nickel corner for the squad. But if we trade back, and obviously everybody's going to want defensive line, I get that. Arnold Ebiketie has actually been playing decently well. Ruduk Aurora has been playing well. I think we keep Grady Jarrett. I think we cut David Onyemata because we need that cap space. Maybe we re-sign Matt Judon. Maybe we re-sign some of these guys that we might be able to afford. We'll have to do some cap structuring. And we'll move on from Kirk Cousins to clear up some more space as well. But later on in the draft, though, I'd be curious to kind of see. I think that they'll maybe focus more on the outside and try and get some more receivers and maybe some more cornerbacks as well.
Yeah, I could see that for the Falcons. I do think investing in some replacements for the offensive line are on the table too. But we'll just have to see. I do also find it hard to believe you guys would pay a third for Matt Judon and then not find a way to bring him back for more than just 1 year. But we'll see what happens there. But as far as this game goes, I'm going with the Falcons. I think they're just the better team. I think that they will be able to get after Bryce Young. I do think it will be a high scoring game, though. I'm going to say 35-28 Falcons.
Okay, I like that. I'll go with Falcons as well in this one. We have a lot to play for. I think this offense is clicking. I think being at home, I think the defense is going to get after it. And so I think we'll be able to I just don't think Carolina can stop us.
Yeah.
Which isn't saying much. I don't think they can stop anybody.
No. Yeah, they're like the worst rush defense in the league by 35 yards a game. So let's go ahead. Let's wrap this one up here. If you guys have not already, please go ahead and like and subscribe. That is the best way to help out the channel. While you're down there, go ahead and leave a comment on who you think is going to come out ahead. Will it be the Carolina Panthers? Will it be the Atlanta Falcons? And other than that, we will see you guys next time.